Hey, welcome. We're on the internet every single day, right? But have you ever really stopped to think about what's going on just underneath the surface? Today, we're going to peel back the layers and look at the hidden corrosion that's kind of eating away at our digital world and why it actually affects every single one of us.
So let's just jump right in with a pretty big question. Is the internet actually rotting from the inside out? I know, it sounds dramatic, but it gets right to the heart of what experts are now calling digital decay. And as you're about to see, the evidence for it is, well, it's surprisingly compelling.
Okay, to really get a handle on this decay, we need to meet the villains of the story. There are basically four key culprits working behind the scenes, and they're actively messing with the health of our online world. Let's unmask them one by one.
First up, we've got fake news. And look, its goal isn't just to misinform you about one little thing. No, the real danger here is how it chips away at our trust in everything. The media, businesses, even our political systems. It's literally designed to make us question what's even true anymore. Then we have these things called zombie websites. They are the digital ghosts haunting the internet. Seriously. They might look like real sites, but they're just empty shells, kept alive for one reason: to trick advertisers into paying for ghost ad views that no real human ever sees. They're just gobbling up ad money.
Info leaks are pretty much exactly what they sound like, and they have massive real-world consequences for our privacy. I mean, remember back in 2019 when a gigantic database of Facebook users' phone numbers was just found sitting exposed online for anyone to see? That's a perfect and honestly a terrifying example of this.
And finally, let's meet the traffic bots. You can think of these as invisible armies of computer programs creating a totally false reality online. Just imagine trying to run a business when all your data is basically a mirage, filled with these phantom customers who aren't even real. It's pure chaos.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because you can see how each of these threats connects directly to a victim and a real business impact. So fake news, it's a direct hit on a brand's reputation. An info leak, boom, customer loyalty can vanish overnight. This isn't just theory. There's a straight line from each of these problems to actual financial damage. And those zombie sites, they don't just waste ad money, they actually waste the time and energy that search engines use to map out the web.
All right, so you might be thinking, okay, these sound like big, abstract problems for companies. But, and this is a big but, the consequences are very real for all of us. This isn't just happening in some boardroom somewhere. It's happening on your phone, on your computer, every day.
So let's actually talk about that real-world fallout, because this goes way beyond companies losing money. We're talking about things that affect your privacy, your data, and yep, even the health of our democracy.
Get this, $170 million. That's the fine regulators slapped Google with for violating kids' privacy over on YouTube. It's a jaw-dropping number, and it just goes to show how serious the financial consequences are when our data gets mishandled.
And you can really see there are two sides to this coin. On one side, sure, businesses are wasting money, they're getting bogus analytics, their reputations are taking a hit. But on the other side, your personal data is being exposed, you're getting flooded with misinformation, and like we said, the very foundations of democracy are being put at risk.
And that really gets to the heart of it. This isn't some niche tech problem that only a few people need to worry about. Like this quote from the Washington Post says, it's a huge societal issue. It hits our economy and our public life, square on.
But, okay, it's not all doom and gloom. Not at all. There is a fight back happening, and it's coming from a lot of different directions. People are finally starting to wake up to the scale of this problem, and they're taking action.
And what's really cool is that the response involves pretty much everyone. You've got regulators coming in with these massive fines. You have the ad industry itself trying to clean up its own act. You have scientists figuring out how to fight falsehoods. And maybe most importantly, you have informed citizens just like you.
Even the ad industry is seeing the writing on the wall. They're trying to self-regulate, putting out new ideas for privacy standards to try and get ahead of the regulators, and frankly, to rebuild some of that trust they've lost by giving us more control.
And here's the part about what you can personally do. Scientists have come up with this super simple but really powerful 4-step guide to help spot and stop the spread of bad info. It's easy. First, just stop. If something you see seems really surprising or shocking, just pause for a second before you hit share. Second, investigate the source. Who's saying this? Third, find better coverage from sources you already trust. And finally, trace the claim back to where it originally came from. It's a simple but an incredibly effective tool for basic digital hygiene.
So, to kind of wrap it all up,
It's so important to see that fake news, data leaks, and bot traffic, they're not separate problems. They're all tangled together. They feed off each other, creating this vicious cycle of decay that just keeps eroding trust and costing billions of dollars.
Which really brings us to one last big question to think about. After seeing all of this, who's ultimately responsible for cleaning up this digital mess? Is it on the giant tech companies that built it all? Is it on the governments who are supposed to be regulating them? Or does that responsibility fall on each and every one of us? What do you think?